need you to take 30 to 40 people only.
Yeah.
So that's why it's been restricted to YFlow, at least in Delhi.
Okay.
Just
and
because of numbers again.
How about fundraisers and initiatives? See, because the reason I'm asking these things is YFlow has predominantly been doing only events.
Okay.
In our years, we don't get involved as much. Of course, we are there and we always support Flow, and we are involved in doing fundraising and retreats and everything. But it's always under the aegis of
No,
Flow.
you can do
but
it yourself.
Individually, YFlow's never
You can
been,
do it. You can do a YFlow fundraiser. You can do a YFlow and Flow fundraiser. And there's something I'd like to say, that if you are really helping out Flow, it must mention on the invite that it's a Flow and YFlow event.
Yes.
Because it does not necessarily mean that it's a Flow event, does not necessarily mean it's a YFlow event. Sometimes YFlow people have walked, they have done everything, and it's not been mentioned. So it should say Flow and YFlow together invite you.
all right.
There's no harm in that.
Same goes for the initiatives also. I guess we can take up initiatives if we feel that we can.
See, the initiatives are pan-India. The direction has been given by the Flow president. So either you can, like, I know in some chapters, they have divided it up. So suppose the YFlow chair is doing the V initiative, and the Flow chair is doing maybe SWAYAM and WCD and a couple of others.
Right.
So it's just to help each other out.
Can
but
we,
when you present in the GB meeting,
yeah,
you can
of course,
say that
yes.
you've done it together.
So can we do some independent initiatives also? So I mean, something which is not been
Yes,
talked out.
yes. We have spoken about that. That this is your guidance, and this is what we are saying that we would like every chapter to do. So you can choose out of this, and hopefully at least do 2-3 of them. But if there's something else that you're very passionate about, you're welcome to do that too.
Right, thanks. One last thing, we have a lot of members in YFlow coming in Hyderabad, and they're
Great.
showing a lot of interest to being a part of the committees and all. And Flow Hyderabad would like to take up some YFlow members also into their committee. So is that okay if YFlow members form a part of Flow committee?
It is one organization.
Yeah.
So if someone from YFlow says that, there's a space for me in the Flow committee, and I don't mind, I would like to, I don't think you can say, no, you can't do it. Please go ahead and do it. Please remember, we are one organization.
Yeah, exactly.
One more thing I'd really like to point out, which Ranjana just reminded me, when you have these big events, please call the Flow president. It's always nice, especially when they're gala events.
Yeah.
Is that what you were saying? It's mandatory.
Okay.
Sorry,
All right.
even I didn't know that, so it's mandatory. Yeah.
Typically for like the big events, like the opening,
the big gala
or the
events.
awards and things like that. Yeah. So
There will be a session on protocol and etiquette which will deal
right.
with all this.
Right. Thank
Who
you so
have to
much.
call, where they have to sit, what they have to say, everything.
Right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Any other question? I saw somebody.
Yeah, I have a question actually. It's a technical question. So for example, when we have a workshop, when you have like fewer number of people who can attend the workshop, is it okay, like suppose if you're organizing it in Flow and you have like 20 or 30 people that you can accommodate in that workshop, is it okay to open it first to the Flow members since it is the Flow initiative and then to the YFlow?
Yes.
Or you have to
You
open it
can
to
do
both
it two
together?
ways. Either you can do it first come, first serve.
Right.
But if you feel it's targeted better for a Flow membership,
Right.
then you can do it that way too.
It's okay to,
Yes,
give
yeah.
a few days gap
Yeah.
so that the Flow
Yeah,
members
it's
get
fine.
an opportunity to do. And I had one more question. Like I did see this thing about when the membership fee is not paid, that after 3 years it's okay to strike off the names. What happens if somebody is not paying the fees but attending the program? And
You have to make it very clear. In fact, I think now it's less than 3 years, if I'm not wrong. It used to be 3 years. We have such a large membership that I think if they haven't paid for a year and you've asked them again and again, you need to remove their name from your mailing lists. And if they do come, then they should be charged a registration fee or unfortunately turned away. It's really difficult, but that's what you have to do.
But you have to have your systems very clearly in place and somebody
Yeah.
at the door who knows who's paid and who's not paid.
Right.
Usually people get away with it because we have not got our systems in place.
Charge a registration fee. Charge a hefty registration fee.
Hanji.
Yeah, but the thing is, there are, I'm just sorry to interrupt, but there are a few people who just will not even pay the registration fee.
Then no organization anywhere in the world can they carry on?
Yeah.
So what you need to send them an email, and if you like, write it officially or have it come from
That next time you will
the
not
head
get out,
office.
yeah.
That it's unfortunate and it gives me deep whatever, but I have to inform you that you're no longer a member.
Right.
So in any case, you have a form
Please
before
do
you.
it nicely.
Yeah.
No conflict, politely.
You know, one way of. So one way of doing it is at the registration counter, you could have one column which says, I'm a paid member, I've paid the last fees of, say, 15, 16, 16, 17. So if he signs off, if she signs off, it's fine. Nobody will give a wrong declaration. So that's one way of doing it, without asking.
My question is actually to the Presidium. The point is that there was this statistic that was given. Excuse me. Thank you. The statistics that were given about the predominance of a very large section of our population today, which is very young. Now, I really want to know from the Presidium, what are your reasons for just having 3 chapters? I think we need to explore why YFlow has not grown as much as it should, and what is the plan where we need to induct them. And I want to bring this up in the light of 2 rival organizations which are, well, rival in some ways perceived. One of them is an organization called ALL, which is now inducting people without charging a fee. And there is a fair amount of influx of Flow members that have gone from Flow to All. And maybe they're giving them more opportunities to interact. Obviously, it's tempting because there is no fee right
It's
now.
completely free. And
Yeah,
it's very,
but let
very
me
large,
finish my question. That's fine. Maybe it's all right to be a member of 2 organizations. That's not an issue. But the point is, if they come up with better programs, then you're going to lose your members or their attendance in the programs that you have. That's one. Then you have an alternative with CII coming in, who is giving a membership to students at 500 rupees. I mean, they have some very interesting programs to induct new members. And I think in the light of all this and the statistics and the opportunities that we have and we have not taken, I think there has to be a full-on seminar on why we are not growing in YFlow, what can we do, and how can we take this whole thing forward, because that is the largest segment of women that we need to look at.
So
Also, personally, I feel a 40-year-old woman is not young
I
by
was just
any
going to
count.
say,
And you should start with them when they
At
are about 20, when they are stepping into their new world after they're being educated. And I think at about 35, we should end that.
Actually, somebody did ask me at 35 if somebody wants to be a part of Flow. It's no issue. It's the same organization. It's only the membership fee goes from one, you're keeping a sub-ledger anyway. And talking about the youth demographic, there were 2 reasons why I pointed out. One is that according to the United Nations, we will never have those numbers and that potential to use young people the way we can right now. Then it'll go on to another age group. So one of the reasons I said that was only to tell the YFlow that it is very important. It isn't just necessary to do engagement programs. Please join us in our initiatives and things like that. The other thing that I'm preempting is that I might be opening 2 chapters, reopening one and opening a new YFlow chapter. I didn't want to announce it, but since Kiran has said that it is important to grow, I'm sort of putting my neck on the block and saying that I'll be reopening one and hopefully opening a brand new YFlow chapter. Does that answer your question? Anything
Actually, doesn't entirely, because what I'm saying is I think we should sit down together and see how we can open a lot more YFlow chapters.
Yes.
We should have a thrust in that direction.
Visioning for the next 15, 20 years, maybe.
So, just to answer one other question or observation that Kiran had about ALL. Just to keep the record straight, it's not part of a chamber of commerce. And there are other organizations like Mahila Mangal and stuff. We can't be comparing ourselves to ALL. It's a totally different type of an organization. CII, I do agree, but not ALL. A kind of thrust that we should have is business-oriented development and empowerment of women, whereas ALL is just concentrating on networking. Ours is a different focus where we are talking of economic empowerment and also empowerment in other ways. So, so the focus is totally different.
Okay, so there is, I think, another thing in the guidelines that I read, which I'd just like to point out since we're talking about other organizations, that if you're on an executive committee, you really can only be on one executive committee. You can't be on an executive committee or in a position of leadership in another organization in the same year. I think this is what has been pointed out to me by several past presidents, that you have to make a choice. You can do one year, you can do one the other year. You can be a member, that's no problem. But basically, it's like you can't be a principal of two schools at the same time. So if you are on the executive committee or on as an office bearer of a chapter or the head, please try and remain that for one organization only. Anuradha ji.
Taking up from what Kiran said, perhaps the chairpersons of the chapters and the presidents like Indra Dachi and Kavita in Chennai and so on and so forth, Kiran in Mumbai, can take up this thing of young Y-flow and sort of see that by the end of the year, at least they've done a lot of work in that direction.
I think we'll do a study, we'll get together,
Yes.
we'll open some chapters and maybe make a formal roadmap of how to include younger women,
Yes.
which I think is really,
And
really
the
important.
chairpersons
Yes.
can take a lead in that.
So we are going to now get on, last one. Okay, because we are,
Lower the age. I mean, nowadays.
we are going to do that, yeah.
They.
You're not young at 40 anymore, so
No,
we,
no. I mean,
yeah.
they can start
20?
earlier.
But
19.
But it can't
because
be
lot
below
of
18. You can't have
18 is the
schools
legal
open.
age, so it can be
19, I should
18
say,
plus.
18, 19,
So it's
20.
20, yeah, so you
yes.
can make it 19.
Because a lot of nowadays at that young they want to do things.
Yeah.
So they want to join off.
But they must at least finish school.
No, they
Yeah.
are solid.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Swati.
Hi,
All right, last question.
Sorry.
No, you've asked too many. Let her ask one, then I'll come
What
to
she's
you.
asking? Let the young blood ask questions.
Okay. Ask.
Okay, so last, we just met up everyone in the interstate, and I was just chatting with the Coimbatore chapter. I'm not sure if I'd met Vaishnavi and all, and they were asking me, will it be okay, if during some of the events, if they feel that the events are very good and they want to invite over some people from specific chapters, like they said that, would it be okay if, a Coimbatore chapter invited Hyderabad chapter for a certain event and then Hyderabad chapter? No, but can it be chapter specific, like inviting just members of one chapter, or, like it goes out to all the chapters?
Please remember, as a flow member, we've tried this before. We're going to try and get a calendar. As a flow member, you're entitled to attend any event anywhere.
All right, right.
You know, that is the advantage of being a flow member. You have 13 locations. So if there is something that you like, you just go and attend. That's fine. It's big or small.
All right, thanks.
No, it isn't. But Anupama, if you're no, you don't have to invite. I mean, if you invite somebody, you need to be uniform about the
Exactly,
invitation.
exactly.
Quite often people say, "May I come?"
Yeah,
In which case you say yes.
absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
if you are actually inviting each chapter, then it would be
Yeah, means the invitation should be extended to all, whether who comes or not, that's different, that's their choice.
And I think
right?
you've been getting the invitations of Delhi, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's sent all the invitations of Delhi. You have a question?
Since the Y-flow age, we are thinking of lowering. I think the 18, 20 people are still on a pocket money. So can we think of having a lesser fees for them?
that I need to. I think that we have to really take under advisement because this is something that we have to start guideline or
Because, to make them pay same as what flow
ju-
members pay
So just
is not...
So just to clarify, again, like Vinita said, that there's no difference between Y-flow and flow. It's the choice of the member who comes into the organization, which place does she fit in the sense, would she like to network with the younger group or the whole group as a whole or the senior group? So when somebody asks, it's a very important thing that I'm saying, that so many times a member says, or an incoming member says, which I'm 39. Should I join Young Flow or should I join Flow? You are joining Flow as an organization. It's up to you to go for meetings called out by the Y-Flow chairperson or by Flow. It's your choice.
Should
She's
she pay
joining-
less?
No, but
That's
she's
what
a
she's
flow member, is what I'm saying. She is a flow member. It does not matter.
You see, by joining, she becomes a flow member. It's just that because of her age, she's Y flow. So, and I think it would really create a chaos in our accounts. So there's one more question. Preeti, do you want to ask a question? Or you? All right, please introduce yourself. Preeti has just come. Anyone else who has just arrived? Because we are, do you want to take a mic? Because we need to go on to the next presentation.
Okay, one
Yeah.
quick question, can I please?
Yes, yes.
I'm
please
the
ask.
incoming chairperson of YFlow Kolkata. Just two quick things. Initially, we were not allowed to do retreats out of India, the YFlow chapter.
Yeah, you're not.
Not even
Not
now?
even now.
Okay, great.
They're not retreats, they become delegations.
Okay.
So you are allowed a retreat, a networking retreat, a
Within
fellowship
India.
meet within the country,
Okay.
amongst your own
Members.
yes,
Members,
yes.
And
Not
second-
inter-chapter either.
Not into chapter.
Yes.
And secondly, what is generally a good size of a committee you appoint?
I think it's there in our guidelines.
Okay.
But
Typically, we don't go over 10 to 12.
10 to 12
and
is a
the
good number.
office
Yes, very
bearers are just
unwieldy.
that many.
Yeah.
Okay.
Including
same.
The core committee.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So you want to introduce yourselves, Preeti?
I on behalf of my Jaipur team apologize for the delay.
No, not at all.
Yeah, and this is Preeti Sabu, the incoming chairperson.
I'm so glad you could make it, Preeti. I was wondering where a couple of people's
And,
flights haven't come.
I'm Meenal Jain, the senior vice chairperson.
Very nice to meet you.
Yeah, and I'm Natasha Choudhary, the incoming vice chairperson.
Very nice to meet you. Anyone else who has come in a little later? Do you have a mic?
Hi, again, sorry for being late, but just driven down from Ludhiana. So I'm Amrita Singh, Joint Treasurer with Ludhiana chapter.
Very nice.
And
Yeah, hello. This is Reena Agarwal, incoming treasurer of Ludhiana chapter.
Welcome.
Okay, hi, this is Neha Mittal. I'm the incoming vice chairperson of Indore chapter, senior vice chairperson.
Hi, this is Rachna Mittal, incoming secretary, Indore chapter.
Nice to meet you. Anyone else?
Hi.
Divya, you want to introduce yourself?
No, this is for Atashi. Hi, I'm Atashi Singhania, junior vice chairperson, YFlow Delhi.
Hi, this is Babita Jain, secretary, Ahmedabad chapter.
Okay, any other questions? Because, you know, we get this once a year, so please ask before we get on to the branding presentation. Sorry.
Just one question, please. If there's a dispute within YFlow, you know, something which gets a little dirty, and so how important is the role of flow committee, the past committee, in solving the problem?
Actually, you know,
or
we are
the
going
past
to-
chairperson committee of YFlow?
It's very important, and I think we'll cover it in the etiquette and protocol.
Yeah.
But just to give you a quick fix, it's extremely important because sometimes you need the chairperson of the chapter to step in.
Okay.
Yeah. But we'll cover it in the last session, all the conflicts or any
Thank you
issues
so
rising.
much.
Thank you.
I
All
have a
right.
quick
You
question.
keep standing here.
What is the number we look at for a flow chapter to have before you can start a Y flow chapter?
I think
Is
you
there like
need a
specific
critical
number?
number of people in flow before
So
you
what
start
should
a
it
Y
be,
flow.
about
I think it should be at least
200,
100
250?
or more. In flow, we should have at least over 100 people before you start having a Y flow
It should be at
chapter.
least 4 years. The chapter should have settled down.
Yeah.
You know, all the teething problems should be over.
So there's no number specific.
No, it
But
is a large
I
number.
would say at least 100, 150
Yeah.
minimum. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I think in the guidelines it's like 250 or something.
Then it's better to wait.
So 250 is better.
Yeah. Yeah. And also 4 years is, I think, important.
I
Excuse
think
me?
it's also number of years, not really number specific, but you need a critical mass. So, you know, maybe the more the better. But 4 years before you set up a Y flow.
One question, what if the critical mass any which way is a younger age group, which is a part of the flow group?
That's fine, but you know, once you become a flow member and then you set up a Y flow chapter, you can't sort of say, now you go into that part. You have to get 50
Yeah.
new members. That's why she's
So
specified.
there is no going back. So in
No.
case we are in our
because
chapter,
they lose, yes, you lose membership fee of 50
that's
people.
what I wanted to ask. Number
So
one,
you need
number
50
two.
new members to start.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay, my question was in certain cities where there is no Y flow, there's just flow. My question was the other way around. There are people who are of a higher age and they want to join. So we are not clear in terms of what
No,
age.
there's no limit.
There's
I
no
think
limit.
they're welcome to join.
They're welcome to
Yeah.
join.
I mean, as long as they feel the need to join, they're willing to pay the membership fee, they're willing to come and attend. I don't think anyone's old enough.
If there's no Y flow chapter, anybody above 20
Yeah.
to whatever age.
So
can
that
join.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You know, at YFlow we've been asked to do CSR. So can we have some guidelines or some set or something that defines it a little more specific, or something?
Actually, now I'm sorry, I'm taking this from
No,
you.
it's fine.
CSR now has become, for example, all our initiatives come within the guidelines of CSR for the companies. So when you are asking them to allocate funds to you, they can easily be in one of the initiatives that you could take on in YFlow, whether it is to provide consultancy to women at grassroots levels or to train them in skill development, which is going to, there can be skill development in anything. In fact, we're seeing it in transport and in educational institutions right now, but I think already Jayanti has conducted a skill development workshop in paper cutting and gift wrapping. Wedding trousseau,
packing.
Anything.
So YFlow can just tie up with Flow. It doesn't
Of
have
course.
to be a separate YFlow initiative to be
No.
doing
These
CSR.
are your initiatives as well, Trupti. And we'd be so happy if you did these, because I think it's really important that the young people do
this.
this.
Set up a CSR committee now. YFlow Delhi has a CSR committee, so that we'll speak to you about it.
The guidelines are the pan-India initiative.
Yeah, okay.
Work under that, that'd be wonderful. If you want to do something else also, that's fine.
There's one thing that I'd like to say. Flow, it's one organization, Flow, and then we are creating an emphasis on Flow because they are younger women. So the requirements of a woman who's 20, who requires a certain kind of programming, is not the kind of a programming that Ranjana Agarwal requires, who's heading a large business unit. You understand? And this I'm talking to you is that if you in Ludhiana have a profile that is basically young, then you will do programs that apply